Which weapon takes the throne this season after the removal of the AK-117 from ground loot? Is it our former champion, the AK-47, or the Type 19? What about the M4? Where does it rank against these other unfamiliar cats? Don't worry, Scylla and I burnt a ton of midnight oil doing various tests for every AR. Brief us, Scylla.
All right, Professor. I'm not going to go too deep the rabbit hole with this one. Again, we calculated shots to kill and time to kill for each weapon. But let's be honest, when it comes to assault rifles, we need to do a few more versatility tests, such as range, since it's a very important factor. So, using the damage and TTK at 10 meters and a second TTK at 30 meters, we calculated weighted scores for each weapon. This gives a more realistic insight and shows the true strength of each weapon in both close and mid ranges.
Thank you, Scylla. All right, students. Per this evaluation, taking the bottom spot this season, at number 10 is the Man-O-War. Yes, it hits like a truck, doing 37 damage at 10 meters and 30 at 30 meters. It boasts one of the lowest shots to kill. However, its slow fire rate with a fire interval of 120 milliseconds leads to a weighted TTK of 792 milliseconds, making it one of the slowest options this season. If you can land every shot, it's deadly. But let's be honest, in this meta, speed is king. Next up at number 9 is the M4. Dealing a damage of 28 at 10 meters and 22 at 30 meters, with a fire interval of 88 milliseconds, it has a weighted TTK of 783 milliseconds. While the M4 is beginner-friendly and easy to control, its lack of standout stats makes it struggle against faster and more versatile rifles. If you're new to the game, it's a safe pick, but seasoned players will want something with more bite. In 8th place is the new kid on the block, the XM4, a close-range specialist with a fire interval of 80 milliseconds and damage of 30 at 10 meters and 18 at 30 meters. Its weighted TTK of 760 milliseconds reflects its strength up close, but it falls off hard at range. If you're an aggressive player who likes to stay in the enemy's face, this weapon is for you. Just don't rely on it for long-range fights because all you're going to do is tickle the enemy. Coming in at number 7 is the HVK-30. The HVK is a mixed bag. It has a fast fire interval of 84 milliseconds and decent damage of 28 at 10 meters, but it falls apart at range with a damage of 21 at 30 meters, resulting in a weighted TTK of 748 milliseconds. Its damage drop-off at range makes it less reliable than other rifles. The high fire rate is nice, but the low damage means you'll need to hit more shots than most rifles, especially at range. The HVK is a fun pick, but there are better options. Taking the 6th spot is the former longest reigning champion, the AK-47. A classic weapon with high damage and punishing recoil, the AK-47 remains a solid choice, dealing 36 damage at 10 meters and 28 at 30 meters, with a fire interval of 110 milliseconds. Its weighted TTK of 726 milliseconds makes it competitive, but its higher recoil requires precision and punishes missed shots, making it a great pick for skilled players who want raw power. If you've enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to drop a like and follow so you don't miss out on important tips and updates. Alright, to the top 5. In 5th place is the EM2. The EM2 is a beast for players who can land their shots. It hits hard with a low STK of 7 and damage of 39 at 10 meters, and holds up decently with 35 damage at 30 meters, paired with a fire interval of 112 milliseconds. Its weighted TTK of 706 milliseconds makes it one of the most lethal rifles up close, but its slower fire rate means it's less forgiving if you miss your shots. In the right hands, this gun dominates. Up next, in the number 4 spot, is the Grau 5.56, a fan favorite for its versatility and ease of use. Combining a fast fire interval of 82 milliseconds with 29 damage at 10 meters and 23 at 30 meters. Its weighted TTK of 705 milliseconds makes it a reliable choice for all ranges. Add in its low recoil, and you've got a weapon that's perfect for players of all skill levels. Coming in 3rd is the LK-24, a weapon that's all about balance and delivers consistent performance. Its low shots to kill, which is 8 at 10 meters, and manageable recoil make it a reliable pick for players who value consistency in both close and mid-range engagements. The LK-24 deals 33 damage at 10 meters and 28 at 30 meters, with a fire interval of 95 milliseconds. Its weighted TTK of 694 milliseconds and manageable recoil make it a great all-rounder. I know most of you are longing for a loadout for your legendary LK blueprint, so here's mine. Try it out. Taking the second spot this season is the Type 19, a weapon that excels in close-quarters combat. It deals 30 damage at 10 meters and 24 at 30 meters, with a fire interval of 80 milliseconds. Its weighted TTK of 688 milliseconds makes it one of the fastest killing rifles in the game. It's fast, reliable, and perfect for both aggressive and tactical players who want to dominate the battlefield. Its consistent performance makes it a deadly option for players looking to shred enemies up close while staying competitive at range. And finally, taking the crown as the best AR this season is the Kilo 141. It deals 34 damage at 10 meters and 27 at 30 meters, with a fire interval of 88 milliseconds. The Kilo boasts the lowest weighted TTK of 669 milliseconds. It's easy to control, consistent, and absolutely lethal. No wonder it's the meta favorite. It's the perfect balance of power, speed, and versatility, making it the go-to choice for players who want to dominate in any situation. You can't exactly find this weapon on ground loot, since it wasn't even supposed to be part of the weapon rotation, but it can be picked up in supply